Hi guys. And I don't even know if the music is coming through or not, but I'm gonna lower it a bit because I can hear myself. Okay, I'll just yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm writing this fic that I used to though it was my first fic. It's called Someone to Stay. Not my first fic in life, my first fic in Marina fandom. Um, and I finished it supposedly. I finished it about, I don't know, probably 6 months ago. I don't remember. But I decided that I was going to continue it. Now, I didn't want to create another part from it. Many authors, especially in this fandom, they create a part of the story, they finish it, and then it's like they do season two and they open up a new fic and start updating that one. But for me, it was like in this story, especially, I didn't want to do that because I don't want them to be separate stories. The main subject of the fic was that it was sort of like their um, journey through life. And yeah, in the first 23 chapters, that was where I ended it the first time. And they have a happy ending. And it's like, oh, in the lived happily ever after, which never happens. So this idea started like clouding my mind over and over and over all these months. And I felt like I could uh, pick up the story a few years later that something happens between them and then things are complicated. And then I said, okay, but they, in my mind, they went through this thing and they ended up very well, whatever. They continued. And then 16 years after they renewed their vows, 10 years after this other thing was going to happen, it sort of happens again. So I was like, okay, I can write that. I can write that and I can let it be not a second part, but a continuation. So I started writing from chapter 24, 16 years later, and I'm in chapter 25 right now. Chapter 24 is posted Life is Life, and chapter 25 is the one that I'm correcting. I wrote this yesterday, and the chapter is finished, but I still have to make editing. So in this case, what I wanted to do in this stream is to edit it. Now I really won't be paying too much attention to chat or to anything else because I want to concentrate and have this ready to post on Tuesday, because I'm gonna start posting on Tuesday just like I did the other one. The first 23. So I'm gonna mute myself just in case, and maybe I'll unmute myself at some point if to talk about something specific about the fic or whatever. I don't mind if the story gets spoiled. It's not that many days until it's published, and it's fine. I'll just do 3 runs of edits, which means I'll edit it right now with the corrections I already made. I'll have Word read it out loud so I can catch on things that I might have missed, and then I'll do a Google Docs edit, because I feel like Google Docs is sometimes better in catching certain things like tenses and stuff like that than Word. So I'll do that, and then they'll be ready for me to post on Tuesday. Now I'll get really anxious because every time I finished a chapter, I get this thing like, oh, I want to publish, I want to publish. But now I'll wait until Tuesday because otherwise it's going to be a mess. And if I have a little time, I might start the next chapter. So I'm going to mute myself. And if you're watching, nice. If this has 0 views, that's fine. When I don't stream, I also have 0 views, obviously. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, so here, right, starting right in the beginning. I don't like this. I don't like this thing, like the way it seemed eternal in the waiting room. If she is in the waiting room, if they are in the waiting room, then it is obvious that they're waiting. So it's like redundant, and I don't like those type of things. So what I'm gonna try to do is just to do this thing and see if I get something, some alternative to the word, um, and I didn't, and none of this work. So I don't know. Just don't like that, and I am definitely changing that. The waiting maternal in the waiting room. I can put in that room or the room outside the operating room. I can like take out the weight and just put something related to the time. So maybe I can put like time seemed eternal in that waiting room. That will fix it. It's not such a big change, and it'll just take the repetition out. So I'll just do that. Okay, time seemed eternal in the waiting room. All right. Um, Let me see what else I corrected already. I had something here. Okay, all signs of brain injury. Since I'm already using brain up here, I'm using brain somewhere else. Okay, I have brain hemorrhage and brain injury. So I'll leave the brain injury because it's important to establish where the injury was, where the hemorrhage was. But I am going to take brain out of this. We don't need it. She's referring about the hemorrhage because, she's already saying brain injury. So we don't need that. We'll take it out. Now, when I correct on my phone, when I'm having that first read aloud session with my phone, sometimes I take the print screens of where I find the mistakes, and then I don't understand what I wrote over that, which is awful. But I'll try my best to understand myself. Okay, do you? Okay, so it's the error is around here. Okay, she was her best friend, and in here and she, I'm gonna change it for Karina because I'm not mentioning her, and it wasn't Maya. So here I have Maya, like any other family member of a patient receiving good news. Hug the doctor. The doctor is Amelia, and thank her. But this time Amelia hugged her back in the same need. She was her best friend. So here she is to, like, we don't know who she's referring to. And since we mentioned the other character that she's interacting is Maya, it sort of seems that Maya is her best friend, but that's not true. So I'm just gonna put Karina here. Karina was her best friend. Um, and then of all of them, um, and then this is confusing too because when I refer to all of them is all the surgeons that used to work together when Karina came around into her life. So this is very like confusing. And even though I put like here old gang, I rather put old gang right up here and not down here. So out of old out of out of all out let's just change this. Out of all her friends from the old gang. Okay. I put no put out. Out of all of her friends from the old gang. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Okay. Only Teddy and she had remained in her life. And we don't need this either. You couldn't imagine not having her around. Alright. Now here, there's that mistake, and also this is not do you, it's did you, because she's asking if Amelia did what she requested earlier, and it was that um, Amelia let Karina's lover know how she was doing. Um, so is did you, but she doesn't say anything else. That's okay. Um, and then Amelia reacts with disgust, but she's not really disgust. I mean, she is like troubled by it. Disgust is way harsh, and even though she is very like she feels betrayed as well because she didn't know about the affair until Karina told her a couple of days ago. So um, she does feel betrayed, and also like, okay, what happened? Why wasn't I paying attention to this? So, but it's not disgust. So what I'm gonna try to come here to the thesaurus. I don't know how to pronounce that, so whatever. Um, is not this aversion could be one. Um, loathing probably. Let's see what it says. Amelia reacted with disgust, but it's not disgust. Okay, Amelia reacted with aversion. Maybe we can change that sentence. Um, maybe we can just put something simpler. Is that Amelia was bothered. Let me see. Amelia reacted with disgust, which let the blonde know she was on her side. I don't want to put a request because there's also like a request under somewhere under there. But mm, I'm just gonna put um, with a request, and it showed in her gestures. Okay, I wanna um I wanna make sure to add the gestures or her face that it showed in her face, so Maya can pick up that she was on her side. Um, maybe not her gestures, but it's not her gestures. What is the word? I'm just gonna put it in her face. If I come up with another word, I'll change it later. It's not her face, it's her. I don't know. It's not gestures, is it? Face gestures? Oh, come on. I don't think it's gestures. Yeah, this is why I don't want to use gesture, because it's a body language, like a whole body movement, not only on the face. Um, face gestures. Maybe I don't think. No, I wrote it wrong. So, but I don't think that it's gonna. I'm gonna find it. Okay, I'm gonna come here. Let's see if it gives me an alternative or something. Um, expressions. All right. So expressions. She showed her in her expressions. Okay, which let the blood know she was on her side. Okay, that's fine. Um, and then here, when Amelia replies to Maya, she says, "Maya, I don't think we should give her more information." But since I use Maya down here too, I don't want to Maya's in answers because it seems repetitive. So I'm just gonna take this Maya out, and this is like a more direct, sort of not well thought answer, just more direct. So it works well taking it out here. Um, then, mm, Then what? Where was the other one? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, somewhere around here. Here. Okay, Amelia. They've been actively having an affair for 3 months. 3. Where was this thing that I was gonna correct in this paragraph? Done. Oh, where was it? Notice. Oh, okay. Okay, this is like not making sense. Um, the correction is actually not here, but here, so I'll just read the paragraph. I'm sorry for my coughing. This reasoning left the doctor thinking May was right, and she wondered why she hadn't noticed their fling before. Karina came clean only a couple of days before her accident. I'm gonna interrupt this with a dot with a point. Karina came clean after the accident. And also this. Why their interactions didn't arouse suspicion in her or her colleagues. This is not working out for me. As I read it, I'm not catching up exactly what I want to catch. So I'm gonna have Ward read it to me.
This reasoning left the doctor thinking. Maya was right, and she wondered why she hadn't noticed their fling before. This reasoning left the doctor thinking. Maya was right, and she wondered why she hadn't noticed their fling before. Karina came clean only a couple of days before her accident. Why their interactions did this
came
reasoning left the doctor
clean to her.
thinking.
Wait, came clean to her.
Karina came clean to her only a couple of days before her accident. Why their interactions didn't arouse suspicion.
And she wondered why their interactions. Okay.
And she wondered why their interactions didn't arouse suspicion in her or her colleagues, and how careful they had been to not get caught, and in the end.
Okay.
How careful they had been to not get caught, and in the end, it had been a kiss witnessed by Karina's own children through the gap in the barely open door of her office that gave them away and exposed the affair.
Okay, that's fine. All right, I like it. So I would do that from time to time, just have it read it to me. Mostly because English is not my first language, first of all. So yeah, I know you know because I speak terribly. But I like to have it read back to me because sometimes I don't catch mistakes. I just don't. When it's written, I don't catch mistakes. I make a lot of errors. I leave words out. And when it's read to me, I just notice. I mean, it's like I can understand where the mistake is if I'm listening to it, but if I'm reading it, sometimes I can read it over and over and over again, and it won't make a difference. I just won't be able to catch it. So okay, wait. Let's go back with the songs because the songs are way too okay. Now what is this? Oh, this woman. Yeah, sometimes I make changes and I don't understand them. I really. I need to get like into another system or something. All right. We separated, however short. We were not together, and even when we did that, okay, here it is. For the sake of the kids, all right. Okay, here. So here, this question mark wasn't right. Okay. Okay, so another mistake was here. And I wanted to take this Maya out. Everyone knew she was naturally jealous, a naturally jealous woman. And Maya was supposed to be somewhere else. Why? Or in particular, Maya in particular. Okay. So here it was just a change of like, there were two hers, and Amelia obviously was talking about Maya, but I wanted to mention her here again to make sure everyone understood that we were talking about Maya. So, Maya in particular, everyone knew she was naturally jealous one. All right. Now, where's the other one? Here in Dr. Amoris. Oh, here is like it's just that I'm using too much possibility. I noticed that there are too many possibilities in this chapter, so I wanted to change that. So let me see if I can like figure out an easy way to change it. Amelia didn't want to put herself in Dr. Rohi shoes to consider the possibility that they were in love. Okay, and does better and consider the possibility. The thing is that the possibility, it's I like the possibility here that they were in love, that this is real, serious, that it could become the first step in her friend's divorce. Her friend's divorce. And she could only imagine how hard it was for Maya to reach that place, to consider no way the worst case scenario. I'm just gonna take this comma there because it's too many commas. The worst case scenario and put her family's well-being before her feelings. Alright, I like that. I'm not gonna take the possibility out. It was just an idea. I wish I had your strength, and I know that there's something here. Oh, crooked. It said crooked, and it's not crooked. It's crooked. Crooked smile. I just want to make sure that it's correct, so I'm gonna come here and yeah, that's okay. Crooked is fine. All right. Okay, this does flourish naturally, and here is not an adventure, it's an affair. That probably happened me when I do this thing that I take this and I take it here just to try to get a little bit of like different words. Like here, it changes flourished, which I wanted to say flourished, like in Spanish, flourished, and here it like blossomed. No, I don't want blossomed. Okay, so I put flourished, but I must have been searching for another word here. Probably was situations. I think it was situations. It yeah, I think I had scenarios, but I didn't like that. Or did I leave scenarios? No, situations. Okay. So I changed it, and this is what happens, that if I don't check absolutely everything, instead of affair, it changes it to adventure. So I must have copied and just came with that. So I had to correct that because that's not right. What is this? And that was just the logistics. Okay. So there's a relationship here that I wanted to change. Possibility. See, there's too many possibilities. Consider the possibility, which is something we used before. I don't like that. Okay, this does flourish affair because that's what she did then. Maya had only suffered for months. Had not only suffered for months thinking that Karina was cheating on her, but that she considered the possibility that Karina would leave her. But that she is not considered. I mean, it is considered, but I have another word on the tip of my tongue. Mm, it's not studied, but it's something similar, so I'll open studied. No. Okay, so calculated, it could be calculated. Examined. It's like making a, like purposely thinking about it. Thought about, but I'm already put thinking. I not only suffered for months thinking that Karina was cheating on her, but that examined. Could be examined, but it's examined is like, no. They don't have anything more? Just 3? That's absurd. Okay, wait. Inspected, no. This just goes too far to something more technical now. She had thought about, maybe I have to change it here. Months thinking that Karina was cheating on her. Suspecting, maybe. Suspecting. Okay, suffered for months suspecting that Karina was cheating on her, but she had considered the possibility, so she had thought about Jesus, about Karina leaving her. That, and I am not gonna repeat Karina, although I wanted to repeat like Karina. That's why I put so many Karinas here. I usually don't do this, but I wanted to like she, Maya, and then Karina repeated all over again. It's like she has her in her mind all the time. So that was the intention, that like to purposely repeat her name every time her name would appear in this paragraph. And I don't know if it's too much. I'll just read it with read it loud and see if we either need to add more Karinas, making it even more purposeful, or if I take some out.
These thoughts flourished naturally after thinking about so many situations in the years following Karina's first affair. Because that's what she did then. Maya had not only suffered for months suspecting that Karina was cheating on her, but she had thought about Karina leaving her, that Karina would take the children away from her, that Karina would fall in love and remarry. She thought about how she was going to maintain her relationship with her children, whether she would have to move to Italy if that was where Karina would reestablish herself, whether she should prepare herself in any other profession just to have a chance to follow her family. And that was just the logistics. The pain of betrayal, the loneliness of knowing that while his wife was on a completely different continent.
His wife. This happens to me all the time. I put he or his. Okay.
While her wife was on a completely different continent, probably kissing and hugging this other person, sleeping with them, she was on their patio, sitting with a beer, crying about where she had lost her, about what
I don't know if I want to put that she was sitting with a beer. So I have this scene thought of, alright. Let me just lower the music a little bit more because it's messing up with my brain. Okay. So I have this scene thought that back then, I mean, Karina cheated on her once already. So the idea was to put that, I mean, to have this scene in my mind where Maya is not watching the kids, but she is in the porch of their house and the porch of the patio, and she's crying. And because she knows Karina's cheating on her, and she's sort of figured it out. Karina never said anything really out loud until the point of the breakup of the affair. But Karina watches Maya Brian sitting in the patio, like imagining all the scenarios. That's what makes Karina understand that she's hurting Maya and that she doesn't want that she wants to be with her. So she ends her affair, and then when she comes back from her trip, she tells Maya, I'm not going on trips like for a long time and only for work. And she makes the point of like only for work. And Maya asks her, then, is it over? And Karina says, yes, it's over, it's done. And they don't really talk about this thing. Maya is the one that processes it, and says to herself, okay, this meant nothing and I don't want it to mean anything more. So she asks no questions at all the first time of the affair. I mean, it's just like barely spoken through. Maya forgives her. They find a way to connect again, and then another 10 years pass. So this is the scene I have in my brain. I will write it for another chapter, but this is it. And so here I wanted to sort of like make into account that, I mean, I wanted Maya to remember how many times, I mean, how many different situations she was sitting on that perch watching her life be like destroyed by this thing, this idea that she had that Karina was cheating on her, because she never really had a confirmation until the end of it. But the thing is, like, even though drinking a beer in your patio where you're looking after your kids is no big deal, people do it all the time. I didn't want to give the idea that Maya was refuging in alcohol while Karina wasn't home and that she was being reckless. I know it has nothing to do with it and it shouldn't give yourself the connection, but there's a saying in writing is that if you put like a shotgun on a wall and you show it, you better use it by the end of the third act or something like that. It's like I'm planting a seed with this, and I don't want to plant that seed because this has nothing to do with that. Will Maya drink in the fig? Sure, maybe a couple of times. It doesn't really matter. But right here is like I'm making a point that in this situation, that's what she did. And in this situation, when she was in the porch watching her kids, this is what she did. She sat and drank and was sort of like thinking of whatever was going to happen. So I don't want this, and I'm going to take it out. Because I don't want people imagining that this is going that way and then having that be lost because it was never the intention. She was on the patio sitting. Okay, that's fine. Okay. What else was here though? Something here with the relationship. Love. Wait, I wrote something here. So okay, for in love, I would like that Karina would fall in love with this other person. I'm actually not mentioning the gender of this other person, even though it's a man. I know it's a man. I'm not mentioning it. I don't know if I am gonna mention it because first of all, here I can't mention it. Maya doesn't know. She never has. She never knew. So it's not something that I can reveal here because right now it's like Maya is remembering all that she went through on that time and she didn't know the gender, so I'm not putting it here. But there is gonna be another scene on following chapter where they actually talk about certain things and maybe I'll reveal it then, but not right now. But I do want to put here as like if Karina would fall in love with this other person and remarry, because there's a thing also like I don't think the canon Karina from the series would cheat on Maya just because it wouldn't be like something that I feel her character would do. She has like a moral compass that wouldn't allow her to do that out of like the bag. If it wasn't a serious relationship, sure, I mean she wouldn't care. But since they were married and that is important, like I mean, it's relevant, not necessarily important to her. She never wanted to get married in the first place, but it became important in this relationship, in this fic. So I don't want that to be the case. You know that she sort of like still loved Maya, and that's why she was still profoundly in love with Maya when this happened. It's like a lot of things happened. Her depression kicked in. She felt unsure about her relationship. she started feeling that she wasn't in love anymore, and that's when the affair happened. So I want to make sure to add little things here, like that Karina would fall in love with this other person, because Karina wasn't in love with Maya by this time, or she didn't feel she was. That's why she cheated. Okay. Apparently there's another his around. Let me see. Because I don't know what this is. It was just the logistics. Okay. The pain, the betrayal. I think I corrected that his, right? Wow. The logistics. Well, her wife. Okay, yeah. I had so unexpected, and I had so special for her. From the time that she had been struggling in silence. Okay, here. That's the thing of like in silence. So Karina didn't know this last time she cheated that Maya has been like backing away from the relationship, like withdrawing from the relationship because she's been dealing with something about her father. Her father is like this figure in their lives that they don't talk about, that they don't like, that they don't like want around their kids. So it became sort of like a bad word. You don't talk about Maya's father. So when Maya is confronted with this decision she has to make regarding her father, she decides not to tell Karina, and she starts like holding information back, and that sort of puts a wall between them. That's why this latest affair happened. Karina was feeling really insecure. She didn't know why Maya was pulling away, and she fell into this hole again where a little bit of attention from someone else sort of like took her out and make her feel all this emotion again. So that's why she cheated this time. And for Maya, it was like she hasn't told her yet about her father, but it's like she didn't even notice that Karina was going through this. It's like she had slipped in paying attention to Karina for a moment, and this happened out of nowhere. And it was a time where she was really struggling. And then I tried to like make a little mention of what I'm gonna develop later. That is, that is something to do with her father. But people are not gonna understand this because they don't have the background of the story that I have. So I don't know if I should leave this in here. Now, another thing is that I've noticed that when readers don't have the whole information about the thing, they don't even notice these paragraphs. They read them and they pass through them. It's like they don't exist. So maybe I'll just leave it there for the person that reads it twice or reads it and says what the fuck and wants to ask a question. I can explain it on the comments. So I'm gonna leave it, I think. I don't know if I should add something more. Let's just listen to it.
Had, so unexpectedly for her, to top it all off during a time that she had been struggling in silence, that she'd had to make the hardest choice in her adult life regarding her father.
I'm not gonna put choice, I'm gonna put decision. Because it's not really a choice, okay? I mean, it is, but decision sounds better. Adult love regarding her father. Okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna add anything more because I'm gonna do something more with it later, and that'll be okay. You know, they say that if you're writing something and you mention it 3 times, the readers think that it's been resolved somehow. So this could be time the first time, and then by time 3 I've explained the whole thing, and that's gonna be okay. What the hell did I write here? Okay. Okay, it's here, but I don't quite see it no matter what. What was stated in that paper they initially signed 18 years ago. This is the marriage papers. And quite aside the conversation they had that first time, Karina cheated. After that first affair, I don't want to put time because it's not understood very well. Okay, so and maybe here I should put like no matter what was stated in their marriage papers. No, I'm gonna leave this because I want people to remember that time has passed. You know, since they married, it's 18 years. Since they married, 16 years since they had the kids. Since they had um the renewal of the vows. Mm, mm, mm. I'm gonna put short conversation that they had. I'm just gonna put they had, not they had. They had after the first affair. This woman over her. Okay, here's woman and woman. I don't like her. This woman over her. Okay. A doctor, a colleague, a very young. I want to say that she was a very young woman, but I don't want to repeat the word. Rina had chosen this person. No, because if I put person, it could be referring to the first affair, and I don't want that. I want to be specific this time. Okay, Karina had chosen this woman over her. I'm just gonna change this here. Like a very young doctor, a colleague of hers. No, because it could be a colleague of Maya and she's not. My colleague, a new friend, okay? Because I want Karina to have told Maya about this person, not really telling her anything more. Okay. What else? Okay, here. It's like I don't like this composition. It's like Maya felt like such a little person. No, she's not a little person. She felt small. But not because of like not small person. That doesn't sound right. Felt so small, so insignificant, so irrelevant. It's just fine because if I repeat the so, it's like the intention of her feeling her lowest. You know, she didn't feel just small, she felt so small. She didn't just feel insignificant, she felt so insignificant. So that's okay. All right. What else? Something here without. Because without will, that now this because without will is like unintentionally here. It's not, I mean, without will, it's not that you don't understand this. In Spanish, it's sin voluntad or sin, which probably will be the same here. Yeah, sin voluntad. But I don't really like that. Unwillingly. Okay, unwillingly can work. I don't like using adverbs much, but whatever. I think this works better than without will. Only something holding them her together. Painful because unwillingly her brain would go to the darkest places. Yes. Okay. Here I just wanted to bring this paragraph up. The first time too. I don't think there's a comma there. There should be a comma there. Okay, wait. Okay, I just muted myself because a car from the elections was passing by. It's like I hate that. I hate this. We're in elections in my country and it's annoying. Okay, so this is Eugene. Really for the next 2 days, you guys. Okay. So Eugene is the new boyfriend of Teddy because she divorced Owen because I no longer care about that person. So she divorced Owen. She's with Eugene now, and he's the doctor that's taking care. The general doctor that's taking care of Karina. We're having assessment meeting to. What the hell did I write here? This is insane. I need to like. Yeah, no. Oh, it was a joke. Here. I was like, we are out of beds. We are out of beds. I mean, he's not the best joker. Don't judge him. He's a nice person. Stressing here without news. Without news. Alright. What else? What else? What else? Thank you. I'll be back at 3, and I think something here. Okay. I knew he was right. The twins were very sensitive, and she feared what could happen. Fear of what could happen if once again they were confronted with that woman. I don't know if it should be off. Maybe it should be off. If they were confronted of fear what might happen. Fear of what might happen. No. Okay, it's fine. I was just, yeah. I don't know what I wanted to do here, but okay, whatever. I'm just gonna skip it because I don't find a mistake. Back here, okay. Yes, absolutely. Okay, back here. I can drop them off at your place after lunch on my way back here. I'll take him home right now. Okay, that's fine. And then be chased. Jesus, I don't understand my handwriting. The least thing they wanted to do was to be chased in the park. Chased. What did I want it to put in? Oh, that the least thing her kids wanted to do was to be chased in the park. Okay. Okay. My inhale deep. She was here. Okay, she was tired too. And here is okay. This is wrong. She was tired too, and a nap wouldn't be so bad. Wouldn't be so bad. She walked towards the twins and woke them up with a soft voice. Okay, this is the Luca Bishop family. Here's the Luca. It's wrong. Okay. Walked out of the hospital with the sad looks. Sad looks. Okay. What is here? Nothing. Oh, wait. There is something. Ring. Maya took a look, remembering the moment Amelia had come to her in the middle of the night had come in the middle of the night to give it to her. Alright, yeah. Another one was this one. Thoughtfully. Okay. This was wrong because it didn't sound very nice. Noticing no thinking looking through the window? No. That doesn't sound right. Wait. I noticed glancing up at the rearview mirror, noticing no thinking while looking through the window. thinking while looking through the window. Okay. She asked. He was crying but didn't want to make a big deal out of it. Okay, so in this fic I'm gonna... Okay, I'm done. In this fic I'm gonna have them call mom and mom to Maya and Karina, not mom and mama, as it's on in all fics. Because I found it really funny when it came into my mind that they know exactly who they are referring to when they say mom. Like Maya wouldn't say mom to herself, she wouldn't call mom to herself, and Karina wouldn't either, but they would call each other mom. And then their kids are twins, so they understand perfectly who they're referring to, and they are both going to be called moms and not mom and mama. I know it might be a little difficult for the reader, but a little challenge never hurt anyone. Okay, so the thing that I do here, I'm gonna just shush the music for this in my mic, is that I want Word to read it all back to me. It won't take that long, and after that, I'll just take the fic to Google Docs and start correcting a few things there. Google Docs is really good correcting tenses, so I'm gonna give it a shot, and yeah, that will be probably where I leave it and where I close the stream. And yeah, so let's just read the whole thing.
Time seemed eternal in that waiting room.
Okay, wait. It's fast. It's way too fast. I need a little slower. So let me see.
1 hour passed. 2, 3, 8. Time
okay.
seemed eternal.
That's perfect. That's okay. Okay, let's see.
Time seemed eternal in that waiting room. 1 hour passed. 2, 3, 8, 10, and the news were all the same. Karina was still holding on, and a new set of surgeons had rotated taking care of another injury. Until finally, reaching the 12th hour of the operation, at 7:32 a.m., Amelia came out for a last time, waking Maya up. The blonde opened her eyes, looking from side to side, seeing that her kids had also fallen asleep beside her. She carefully got up and followed her friend to the side of the hall. Karina was taken to the recovery room, and within an hour she will be transferred to intensive care. She will remain there for at least 2 days. Any signs of brain injury? Maya was concerned about the hemorrhage, but also about what Amelia had said the night before. If Karina recovered, if she regained consciousness on her own. These were tough scenarios to consider. They came with the possibility of that not being the case. Everything is stable with her brain, and I'll keep monitoring her, the neurosurgeon assured her. And every single doctor that operated on her is optimistic in her recovery. Amelia, please. Don't lie to me. I'm not, Maya. We are being cautious, but the surgeries went well, and she has remained stable through the night. She is strong, she is fighting hard, and that is key. Maya, like any other family member of a patient receiving good news, hugged the doctor and thanked her. But this time, Amelia hugged her back with the same need. Karina was her best friend. Out of all of her friends from the old gang, only Teddy and she had remained in her life, and she couldn't imagine not having her around. Did you? Maya asked indirectly about her request to inform her wife's lover of her condition. Amelia was concerned with the request, and it showed in her expressions, which let the blonde...
Okay, so here we have 2 requests, and I don't like that. Why didn't I notice this? It's just on top of it. About her, what is it? It's not solicitud, that is in Spanish. Ask for, yeah. Petition. Solicit, no, that's terrible. Petition. Maybe her petition. Yeah, petition is fine. For her petition. I asked indirectly about her petition to inform her wife's lover of her condition. Okay.
Did you? Maya asked indirectly about her petition to inform her wife's lover of her condition. Amelia was concerned with the request, and it showed in her expressions, which let the blonde know she was on her side. She didn't want to consider any other possibilities or if there had been a fallout between the two. As far as she knew, that doctor was a highly regarded professional at the hospital, but she needed Amelia's help, so she insisted. I don't think I should give her more information, the doctor tried to dissuade her.
Okay.
She was angry with Dr.
This is not, I don't want it to be that cold. I know I'm gonna be repeating Amelia twice here. She needed, I'm just gonna put her help here. Yeah, okay, let's see. Amelia was concerned with the request, and it showed in her expressions, which let the blonde know she was on her side. She didn't want to consider any other possibilities or if there had been a fallout between them. I think that this possibilities I can take out. Didn't want to consider if there had been a fallout between the two. As far as she knew, that doctor was highly regarded professional at the hospital, but Maya needed her help. Maya needed her help. Okay, this is confusing, see? This is confusing me, and I know what I wanted to say. Okay, I'm just gonna, first of all, divide the paragraphs. It was on her side. Okay, that's fine. That's perfect. I'm just gonna put here, Maya didn't want to consider if there had been a fallout between, yeah, I'm just gonna be more specific. So Maya didn't want to consider if there had been a fallout between Amelia and her wife lover. Okay. As far as she knew, the doctor was a highly regarded professional at the hospital, but Maya needed her help. I'm not gonna put here Amelia because I want to use Amelia down here, and it's fine for me if I use two Mayas here. That's fine. Let's just hear it.
Maya didn't want to consider if there had been a fallout between Amelia and her wife's lover. As far as she knew, that doctor was a highly regarded professional at the hospital, but Maya needed her help, so she insisted. I don't think I should give her more information, Amelia tried to dissuade her. She was angry with Dr. Amrohai, attributing all the blame for the affair to her as she didn't feel she could place any on her injured friend at the moment.
Okay. Here it's a little confusing that she needed her help because we're talking about Dr. Amrohai. Oh, here is not something I like. Doctor, all right. I'm just gonna put her friend's help. Because Maya, after 18 years, has become her friend, so it's fine.
I don't think I should give her more information, Amelia tried to dissuade her. She was angry with Dr. Amrohai, attributing all the blame for the affair to her as she didn't feel she could place any on her injured friend at the moment. I just don't know if, how much she. It was hard for Maya to admit her fear out loud. I don't know if Karina would want her to know, and on the off chance that she does, she should know. The affair wasn't serious.
I'm just gonna, emphasize the should. She should know. I know that this doesn't do anything toward reading, but
it was hard for Maya to admit her fear out loud. I don't know if Karina would want her to know, and on the off chance that she does, she should know. The affair wasn't serious. Amelia, they have been actively having an affair for 3 months. 3. And it was because they couldn't contain themselves any longer, which means that for a while before, they toyed with those thoughts. I won't be so naive as to think it meant nothing. This reasoning left the doctor thinking. Maya was right, and she wondered why she hadn't noticed their fling before. Karina came clean to her only a couple of days before her accident. And she wondered why their interactions didn't arouse suspicion in her or her colleagues, how careful they had been to not get caught, and in the end, it had been a kiss witnessed by Karina's own children through the gap in the barely open door of her office that gave them away and exposed the affair. Maya, I just don't think this is a good time to think about this. I have to, because I don't know what Karina wants, what she needs from me at this moment, and I can't pretend I have a say. You are her wife, Amelia reminded her, because she wasn't thinking as such. We separated, however short, we were not together. And even when we did that for the sake of the kids, I have no idea where she stood with this woman. If she was going to her when she had the accident, if she planned to continue there, whatever it was. She was ending it, she told me. She wanted to fix things with you, with the twins. I can't, not until she tells me what she wants, what she needs. I can't decide that for her, and I know this is hard for you, but please, Amelia, have someone tell her what's going on. By this point, Amelia had known Maya for more than 18 years since she started dating her colleague, who would later become her good friend. But this way of reacting, of taking this woman into account, made her think that something else must have happened. No one would react like this.
By this point, Amelia, happened between them? Or in their marriage? Yeah, I think that's better. It's just a little clearer.
Of taking this woman into account made her think that something else must have happened in their marriage. No one would react like this, no one would consider the other woman, Maya, in particular. Everyone knew she was a naturally jealous woman, not violent, but not so permissive.
Okay, there are too many women. Person is fine here.
In particular. Everyone knew she was a naturally jealous person, not violent, but not so permissive. How can you even think of her on a moment like this? Amelia couldn't stop herself from wondering out loud. Maya let go a held breath, a painful one. Maybe if she let it out, she would be able to make sense of what she was feeling, of what she was asking. If Karina had the flu, I wouldn't give a damn. But she might not come back from this. Everyone's optimistic, but she could die from her injuries, and you know it. Maya was having a hard time thinking about that possibility, too.
There's the possibility. I don't like so many possibilities. Sorry. For coughing. Probability? Probability could work. I mean, it's not like, I don't know. Probability is good. Probability and possibility are not the same, but there is a high chance, so we can talk about probability. All right. Okay, that's fine.
Her injuries, and you know it. Maya was having a hard time thinking about that probability, too. Her heart broke as she looked at her children. But if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that for months, Karina has made a conscious decision not to make me the only one who cares whether she lives or dies. Amelia didn't want to put herself in Dr. Amrohi's shoes and consider the possibility that they were in love.
The possibility, dude, what is this? Consider the possibilities everywhere. I need to change that. Amelia didn't want to put herself. Wait, is there really so many, or am I just being confused? Okay, consider the possibility. Why isn't it showing? There's just one result? Okay, so I'm just confused. Okay, I'm just confused because in the whole fic, there's just one result. Alright, I've taken all of the other ones out.
Consider the possibility that they were in love, that this was real, serious, that it could become the first step in her friend's divorce, and she could only imagine how hard it was for Maya to reach that place, to consider in a way, the worst-case scenario and put her family's well-being before her feelings. Because if that were the case, if Karina and Priya became a new couple, she would be involved in her healing instead of Maya. Their children would have to deal with her constant presence because Karina would need them around, and the attitude Maya took toward her ex-wife's new partner would likely be the one the twins would take. I wish I had your strength, Amelia said, pressing her lips in a crooked smile, and walked away in the search of her colleague. She knew Priya was still around, hoping to get any information on her lover's condition. But Maya didn't think of it as strength. It was experience. These thoughts flourished naturally after thinking about so many situations in the years following Karina's first affair. Because that's what she did then. Maya had not only suffered for months suspecting that Karina was cheating on her, but she had thought about Karina leaving her, that Karina would take the children away from her, that Karina would fall in love with this other person and remarry. She thought about how she was going to maintain her relationship with her children, whether she would have to move to Italy if that was where Karina would re-establish herself, whether she should prepare herself in any other profession just to have a chance to follow her family. And that was just the logistics. The pain of betrayal, the loneliness of knowing that while her wife was on a completely different continent, probably kissing and hugging this other person.
Okay, here I'm, wait. Ah! Okay, sorry, I got interrupted. Okay, where was I? Okay, so here, the pain of betrayal. I completely lost my train of thought. Wait.
Where Karina would re-establish herself, whether she should prepare herself in any other profession just to have a chance to follow her family. And that was just the logistics. The pain of betrayal, the loneliness of knowing that while her wife was on a completely different continent, probably kissing and hugging this other.
Okay, here. So why was she in a completely different continent? It was for work. And supposedly for work. Oh, yeah, supposedly. I know. Supposedly for work. And her wife was a completely different continent. I'm gonna use dashes because this is a commentary. Mm. 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 Okay, let's listen to it.
And that was just the logistics. The pain of betrayal, the loneliness of knowing that while her wife was on a completely different continent, supposedly for work, she was probably kissing and hugging this other person, sleeping with them, she was on their patio sitting, crying about where she had lost her, about what it meant to become a minor character in her life, about feeling like a babysitter to their children who were only 5 years old, playing in front of her, oblivious to the situation. And she didn't talk to anyone.
Okay, this is not working. That was just the logistics. The plain betrayal, loneliness, Her wife was in a completely different continent, supposedly working. Supposedly for work. She was probably kissing and hugging these other persons, sleeping with them. And here is like, while Maya was on their patio's porch. Porch? Is that how it's written? I don't think so. Porch? Yeah. Sorry. Patio's porch. Sitting, crying about, okay, where she had lost about what it meant to become a minor character in her life. Okay, here, this was important. Otherwise, we don't understand who is the she. Right.
The pain of betrayal, the loneliness of knowing that while her wife was on a completely different continent, supposedly for work, she was probably kissing and hugging this other person, sleeping with them, while Maya was on their patio's porch, sitting, crying about where she had lost her, about what it meant to become a minor character in her life, about feeling like a babysitter to their children who were only 5 years old, playing in front of her, oblivious to the situation. And she didn't talk to anyone about it, because admitting that she knew about Karina's affair would have meant not only that she had lost, but that she was being played with, that she hadn't even been worthy of a proper goodbye. However, that little detail made her hold on. She hadn't been let go yet, she had a chance, and she took it. Somehow she won Karina over, but that fear remained like in any partner that has been ever cheated on. There was always the possibility of it happening again.
Okay, that's good. Now, I also wanted to explain this. This paragraph is huge. I usually don't do this huge things, but this had one concise idea, and it was all of Maya's thoughts while she was standing there watching her kids sleeping in the waiting room. So, it was important for me to keep it together just as one thing. It's like when you are at a place and you're thinking something and it all comes rushing to your brain all at once, and it's really heavy with information because your brain works that way. I wanted the same thing here. It's like dropping all of this information down in one single swoop and for it to feel really heavy. And I know that it's hard to read these huge paragraphs, but sometimes format needs to help also with the mood of the reader. So if the reader comes to my fic and finds like, okay, a single sentence paragraph, and then they have this, I don't know how many lines of sentences there are in this paragraph that is really heavy. I want them to feel Maya's heaviness. So that's why I sort of do this. I've seen a lot of people are criticizing this type of long paragraphs in fixes, like just cut them out, cut them like in every whatever paragraph, whatever sentence. I was like, no, you don't do that. I mean, format has to be something to help the reader uh, get into your story, to feel what the characters are feeling. So I do pauses. I do pauses like this, like it's just a single thing. Like this is also part of this idea. But here was like a separation because Amelia thought it was strength and Maya didn't. Maya knew that it wasn't the strength, is that she had thought all of these other things through many times over. So for me, format is that you need to be careful with format. Like I see many fics that have this, like this separation, like this double spacing in the paragraphs is so annoying to me because it takes you out. It doesn't let you have a concise idea of a text. There is a reason why spacing is not used this way in literature. I mean, maybe in technical, I don't know, because I don't write technical things, but maybe in technical papers and scientific papers and investigations, whatever, they can use that format. But here you don't use that format in literature. You don't. And the only thing that I can find that is a reason why people do that is that they don't know how to format their documents and in the style of the paragraph, of the normal paragraph, set space after paragraph that allows you to have that visual separation. I'm sorry. And when they get to AO3, AO3 uses HTML. So in the very basic HTML paragraph tag, it comes included a space after the paragraph. So you don't need to put the space with return. You don't do that. And it really annoys me. It's really hard for me to read those fics and to follow along because it's really like it's stressing to see so much separation, to make so many pauses while you read. A visual pause, like in a return, it is a pause. If you want to have a pause, intentionally do it, but in every single paragraph, no. You shouldn't do that. So that is like, it tells me also a little bit about how um, how little attention some authors put in their work. Maybe they're accustomed to certain things, like they're not accustomed to formatting their documents properly in the application, and they give two spaces just because. But people should learn how to write properly. They're writers. I know this sounds like a complaint. It actually is a complaint. I'm complaining here. I'm venting. But I am a designer. I'm a graphic designer, and when I have to format text for like a magazine or a PDF or anything, all right, you have to format the text. The program does this for you. You don't do double spaces. You just configure it correctly, and it does it for you. You know how costly it's gonna be for you to have the person that is gonna make the editing, or how costly it's gonna be for you in time consuming when they come and tell you, oh well, yeah, I'm advising you need to delete all those spaces in your 300,000 word novel, and you're gonna have to go paragraph through paragraph deleting them. I mean, I know there are automated tools to sort of do that, but you can mess the whole thing up also. So if you don't know what you're doing, you can join paragraphs without wanting to. It's a mess. And you are going to have to do that work, or your editor is going to have to do that work, and they're going to charge you for it. And if they charge you for it, it's not going to cost you time, but it's going to cost you money. So being a little careful with that sort of stuff, like knowing what you should be doing from the beginning, is better than taking all this time and money and effort to fixing something that you should have done correctly in the first place. Well, okay, rant is over. The rant is over.
She felt betrayed, insulted, and ridiculed. She had lowered her guard for a moment, and it had happened again. No matter what was stated in that paper they initially signed 18 years ago, quite aside the short conversation they had after the first affair, Karina had chosen this woman over her. A very young doctor, a colleague, a new friend. Maya felt so small, so insignificant, so irrelevant. She turned to see her kids, both still sleeping in those uncomfortable chairs. What would she do without them? They were the only thing holding her together. And it felt even more painful, because unwillingly, her brain would go to the darkest places. They were Karina's flesh and blood.
I'm just gonna put here darkest of places. I don't know why, but it sounds better.
Places. They were Karina's flesh and blood, not hers. They were both carbon copies of Karina. Nico with her passion.
Okay. So I want to focus here on certain feelings and have a pause, all right? I want to have a pause here. Because these are thoughts, but they're hurting her. So it's not just one heavy thing that happens. It's like one thought comes along and it hurts her. So she takes a little time because she's in pain, physical pain, and mental, emotional pain. So I'm gonna just do that, and then I'm gonna do another one here. Karina's flesh and blood, not hers. That's like, okay, one dagger in the heart. They were both carbon copies of her wife. I'm gonna change Karina here because that's not just, the repetition here is not good. Okay. And then I'm gonna separate this. And why do I want to do this is because Maya is very conscious, overconscious, and she's been from the beginning in this fic that these kids are not biologically hers. You know, she adopted them. Those were her kids. She conceived them with Karina, but she knows very well, and is an insecurity that many parents that are not biological parents have when they're confronted with the possibility of their partners that are their flesh and blood could take them away from them. And even though Maya adopted them, if Karina decides that she wants to go to Italy, in Italy, her motherhood might not be accepted. Well, this is 18 years after. We can suppose that maybe things have changed for the better, but they could also either stay the same or take a turn for the worse. So here is just establishing that fear. So the kids were Karina's flesh and blood. And they were sort of carbon copies of her in different aspects. Like the girl, Nico, she has her passion and she's very stubborn. And no, the guy, the boy, he's very kind and soft and has a lot of empathy. He's very Karina's sweetest side. And Nico, no, Nico is like, she loves parties, she loves people, she loves all these things. It's like the two parts of Karina's personality are very like you can differentiate very well in them. So this is the reason why Nico is always getting like head to head with Karina. They don't really get along because they both are so stubborn in certain things that they just clash. They don't get along at all. And on the other hand, no, her son is, she and her can be great friends and can be together like in really positive way. They love each other. They show that they love each other. It's like he is her little partner, and he's been that way since they were kids. So it's like but the very different parts of Karina, but Maya can recognize those attributes in them, and she doesn't recognize hers. You know, she is like she sees them from afar and is like, yeah, they're her kids. Like they have her things, but they don't have anything from me other than my love. And Maya doesn't really see that that is the part that they have absorbed from her during their whole lives. She doesn't really see it so clearly, but that is a very important part for them, for the kids, and they tell her later, and another in the future of the fic and other chapters, they're gonna be the ones telling Maya and reassuring Maya. But right now, I just wanted to establish that she has those fears and she has those feelings. Okay. Other than her love. Okay, and then I can separate this once more and then finish with that. And this is like the thought that closes this one. Yeah, I thought about this. Yeah, okay. What else? Let's just put this to read.
What would she do without them? They were the only thing holding her together. And it felt even more painful, because unwillingly, her brain would go to the darkest of places. They were Karina's flesh and blood, not hers. They were both carbon copies of her wife. Nico with her passion and stubbornness, and No with his kindness and empathy. But what did they have of Maya other than her love? She had thought about this that first time too. Would they even consider her their mother as they grew up? They were little kids back then. And just like that she started to break. Tears fell from her eyes with pain. That unbearable sting in her chest. Once again, she was nothing. The veil of the concern over the uncertainty of Karina's survival began to fall, and she was back to just being the cheated wife that had been a fool for giving her a second chance 10 years ago. Maya. A doctor called her attention from behind. Eugen, she greeted the latest head of general surgery with a small hug. He was Teddy's most stable boyfriend after her divorce to Owen a few years back, and he had become a good friend. Karina is stable in intensive care. We will monitor her and let you know any news, but you should go home. There is no reason for you and the kids.
I'm just gonna put here in the intensive care unit, and I'm not gonna put ICU because I think that is a technical term that can come later, but I want to establish at least one time that what it means. So, okay.
Karina is stable in the intensive care unit. We will monitor her and let you know any news, but you should go home. There is no reason for you and the kids to be so uncomfortable here. I don't think I should go, Maya noted. She feared what happened with Andrew could repeat itself with Karina. I get it, really, but for the next 2 days you guys won't even be able to see her. And you can't move to the hospital, we are out of beds. He tried a soft joke, getting only a concerned look in return. Look,
Okay, so here this is not a spoken verb, so I'm just gonna change that.
He tried a soft joke, getting only a concerned look in return. Look, we are having the assessment meeting.
Okay. Concerned look. I'm gonna just put gaze because I don't want look repeated.
Concerned gaze in return. Look, we are having the assessment meeting at 2 p.m. You can be here at 3 o'clock and we will give you the status of her condition, possible scenarios, recovery time. In the meantime, go home, shower, eat something, rest, and come back. Maybe just you. The kids will start stressing out here without news. Maya knew he was right. The twins were very sensitive, and she feared what could happen if once again they were confronted with that woman. Thank you, I'll be back at 3, she said, nodding a goodbye, and called Andy. Hey, any news? Her friend asked. She had informed her of the accident a moment after arriving at the hospital.
Okay, I'm just gonna put here Maya.
Maya had informed her of the accident a moment after arriving at the hospital. Do you want me to go to the hospital?
You want me to go there? I don't want repetition, so there is fine. Do you want me to go there?
Can you take the kids for the day? Maya asked, knowing she had to avoid them being alone at any cost. She didn't want them going in an emotional downward spiral. I can drop them off at...
And I'm just gonna put and for her not to be there to help them through it.
She didn't want them going in an emotional downward spiral and for her not to be there to help them through it. I can drop them off at your place after lunch on my way back here. I'll take them home right now. Yes, absolutely. I'll call Vic and Jack, we will keep them entertained. Her friend still thought of them as little kids they had to play with. But now in their teenage years, the least thing her kids wanted to do was to be chased in the park. Thank you, Andy. See you in a few. Maya inhaled deep. She was tired too, and a nap wouldn't be so bad. She walked toward the twins and woke them up with a soft voice. Is Mom okay? Nico was the first to realize it was morning. No just waited for the answer. Yes, she is stable. But they are monitoring her. We are going home. Why? No asked. There is nothing for us to do here, they will let us know if something changes. Let's go. The DeLuca Bishop family walked out of the hospital with the sad looks and good wishes from the personnel, but that place no longer felt familiar, because for the first time in their lives they were there as a patient's family member, not as Dr. DeLuca's kids and possible ex-wife. What is this? Nico asked, after getting into the car. She took the plastic...
I'm just gonna put here, Nico asked her mom.
After getting into the car, she took the plastic bag she was referring to from Maya's right jacket pocket. Maya took a look.
She was referring to. She took the plastic bag she was referring to. Okay, that's fine.
Maya took a look, remembering the moment Amelia had come in the middle of the night to give it to her. It was all of Karina's rings, cut down the middle during surgery, including their wedding ring. They could take them off.
They couldn't take them off.
Couldn't take them off. Mom's hands were too swollen, so... Can I keep them? Her girl asked, feeling a bit of nostalgia. There was not a day in their mom's life that she wouldn't put them on. Maya nodded, glancing up at the rearview mirror, noticing no thinking while looking through the window as he fastened his seatbelt. Everything okay, baby? She asked, but got no response. He was crying, but didn't want to make a big deal out of it. Mom is strong and we will survive this, Maya assured them. We will. No, cleaned his tears, leaning back in his seat. Nico pulled hers down and tried to continue her sleep until they got home. And Maya turned on the car, knowing that she would have to move heaven and earth, but she needed to keep that promise. Somehow, they would be okay. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Alright. So this is revised with the allowed, and I'm just gonna copy this and come here. And I have a file already here that is, I'm just gonna open it a bit. Okay. Maybe just make it smaller. Yeah, okay. That's better. And I paste the chapters here and I just go through them. Like here I see if I have anything like suggestions. So until finally, last time, what? No, until finally, reach until finally. Oh, I don't know if a comma would fix it, maybe. Until finally reaching the 12th hour of operation. Yeah, that's fine. If you plan to continue there, okay, yeah. Sometimes it just doesn't know what you want to say, doesn't understand that you're making pauses in dialogue, and it suggests things. We just ignore it. Maybe here is in IA. I have a lot of problems when in, on, and at, and that stuff, so I get those a lot. Amelia said, pressing her lips with a crooked smile and walking. Oh, see, since here is pressing, here is walking, but I don't like it. It's like Amelia said, pressed her lips into a crooked smile and walked away. I actually like the combination of pressing and walked. I mean, I know it makes no sense, like grammatically, but I sometimes I like it, but this thing always corrects me, and I have fallen into correcting it. Here is like it was an experience that would be like the correct one according to this thing, but no, it's like okay, Maya didn't think of it as strength, it was experience, not the experience, but her experience. So I'm not putting anything in there. That's okay for me. Quite aside from the short conversation, yes, that's okay. She had thought about this for the first time too. No, ignore. Or I'm just gonna put the first time too. The veil. Oh, okay. This is recovery time. Okay, possible scenarios and recovery time. That works. That's fine. Nodding goodbye, nodding goodbye. She said nodding goodbye and called Andy. Okay. I hate this. See, that's the thing. Nodded goodbye. Or nodded goodbye. Okay, that's fine. And called Andy. Do you want me to go to there? No, just go there. With the sad looks. With sad looks. Okay. Walked out of the hospital with sad looks and good wishes from the personnel. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's okay. So it wasn't too many. It's also not such a huge chapter, so it's fine. Now I come back to Word and I paste it, and I know if you saw that it changed a little bit, it's because it sort of changed the styling format. So I select it again and just pick the format again, the normal paragraph, and then all the separation is fine again. But the italics, the cursives are conserved, so that is okay. And then this is ready for publishing, and I could publish right now, but I don't know. No, I'm gonna wait until Monday midnight, which is Tuesday for many people, and I'll post it then. Yeah, these are not gonna be very long chapters, but I want little things to go to happen. I know that I'm spoiling a little bit the story here before publishing, but since no one watches these things, well, people watch them. I've like come back days after, like when they're about to be deleted in Twitch, and I have like a certain amount of people have watched the stream. But to be honest, I don't really mind about that. I mean, it's not my first like wish to be popular here, but whatever. I don't mind spoiling this story a little. There are other stories that I don't want to spoil, but this one is fine. I'll be doing this like probably not weekly. I don't know. I don't know when I'm gonna have time to write, but sometimes I'll do it sometimes. Anyways, I'm gonna cut the stream off because I have to go and eat and then start working on writing something else, and then in the afternoon a little later I have to work. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this. If you have any comments, you can find me in Twitter and yada 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 yada. Okay, thank you. Bye.